Tonight on the Austin Downbeat, Season 15 of The Voice finalist Katrina Cain performs her brand new single, New Mercedes, and Austin's own Johnny Goudie.
Welcome to the Austin Downbeat. I'm Kat, your host. Let's give a warm welcome to my guests this week, Mr. Johnny Goudie and Katrina Cain. Let's hear it for him. I love doing this show for lots of reasons, but it's really nice to see you guys again. I haven't seen you, either of you really, in a while, sadly. I can't wait to hear you sing, because I know you both have new things. That's the awesome part about the show, is you come on when you have some new stuff, you know, cooking.
New wares.
New wares, about to cook. Let's start with you first.
Okay.
You have a brand new band.
I do.
Tell me about them.
It's called Happy Land, and it's a 7-person band with 4 singer-songwriters, Kimmy Rhodes, Gabriel Rhodes, Sean Pander, and me. And the band is John Chipman, Harmony Kelly, and Louis Rhodes. Mm-hmm. And it's like tons of harmonies. It's kind of like a songwriter in the round, but like rehearsed and with backing vocals and stuff. And a band. How
did you guys come together? I know you all
over
know
dinner
each
parties.
Other.
Like we've all worked together on different things, and Gabriel has frequent dinner parties, and for the last decade, usually the day afterwards, there's like a text thread like, oh, thanks for dinner, we should start a band. But we never do, but this time we actually did.
And who led the charge on that this time?
I think Kimmy, because she booked us all for a show. And then...
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah, then she was like, hey, will you guys all do this thing? And then we decided to go ahead and be a band after that.
And with that many singers, how do you sort of, because you have your own stuff, right,
Sure.
Johnny? And then you also have Skyrocket, which we'll talk about. How do you sort of divvy it up? And is there, at this stage in the game, how are the egos? Like, is there any ego in the band? Because I know that could be
There's 4 pretty huge egos, but we don't use them against each other. We don't weaponize our egos at all. And everybody's a big fan of everyone else's music. That's why we wanted to have a band together. So It's not, there's no ego stuff. And we just kind of divide the songs evenly. I'm sure as time goes on, there'll be more songs that we sing together and stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I love that. And how did you get the name Happy Land?
It's a song of Kimmy's.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
It's one of Kimmy's songs. It's a song that we close with.
Awesome.
And we decided to make that kind of like the ethos of the band, to not have no bad vibes. We have to deal with bad vibes a lot in this time from day to day. So we decided to start a band.
Amen.
That would just be a good time.
So it's
like
just
walking into Happy
good.
Land for as long as the show lasts, and then you go back to your miserable life after.
That's what music's about. I mean,
exactly.
Like music.
Well,
is
some
an
music,
escape,
I think
you know?
sometimes needs to shine a light on things that are horrible.
Yeah.
But I think there's enough light being shown on that right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You, I'm actually coming. You're playing tomorrow night.
Yes.
We're filming this on a Sunday.
Yes,
which
we're
means
doing
tomorrow's
2
Monday.
more Mondays, and then we are off for like 4 months from performing live. We'll be recording and doing other things.
I find it cute and funny that you are Happy Land, and then was that planned?
Not at all. We had the name, and then we got the gig.
Okay, so Monday nights at 6:30.
At 6.
6 o'clock at Saxon Pub.
Is Happy Land.
Happy Land, and then right after is Bob Schneider doing Lonely Land.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his resident, he's been at Saxon Pub for like a really long time doing that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since 1999, I think, or 98.
Holy cow, that's a long,
25 years he's been doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's cute. Happy Land into
Lonely.
Lonely Land. It's like
He didn't think it was so cute at first, but I did tell him it wasn't.
It wasn't intentional.
It was not at all.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned Skyrocket. You have this sort of thing that you do with
Also
a bigger pieced band.
a huge band as well. Yeah.
And lots of egos. I'm just kidding.
No, that one also has been really good about that.
Yeah. I've seen you guys play. You guys look like you're having so much fun. So Skyrocket is another band that he's in.
Yes.
And it's covers.
It's covers.
And like, how fun is
70s
that?
and 80s super hits.
And
we have a good time. It's a fun time.
And you do like weddings and you get flown places. Don't you kind of get flown?
Yeah, we do. We do a lot of corporate stuff. We don't do as many weddings as we used to, but we do a lot of like.
Yeah. Big.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a corporation without outing it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's funny, the whole thing with like cover music versus original music. Like all music is original. It starts out as being original. Right? I had this like moment of clarity when I was in the car the other day. I'm like, all music is original, but covers, it's just stuff that we know, obviously. Yeah. How do you guys feel about, like, do you ever get asked to play a cover just at your individual shows? And how do you feel about that?
I think I also do, a fair amount of cover work just because it pays the bills. And I think like it's just about the intent and like the time and place. Recently this summer was playing a set that was an original set. It was billed like under my name. It was almost all originals, and we had a couple of covers. I do like Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen,
cool.
like down-tempo. So a couple of things that I had specifically rearranged, and someone from the crowd was screaming something else completely, and he kind of treated us as like a cover band. And that's the only time that I think that really is like frustrating, is just when it's like, you have a show to put on. We're not like a piano bar or a request. We don't have a request book. Like that's not what this is about.
Right.
But there are there's a time and place for that as well. So.
And you get to see that too, like the difference, right? The dichotomy between, because when you're at Skyrocket, you guys are in it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, 1,000%. And it's so much fun to watch.
We did a long time ago, like 15 years ago, we did a show at Mucky Duck, that like a Skyrocket show. And then we thought like, the way we can make this special is, since we're all singer-songwriters, is to each do one of our own songs in the set. It was literally the worst thing that has ever happened in that band.
Oh no.
At least to me it was.
Did they throw things at you?
They didn't throw things, but the crowd started talking so much louder than I was playing, and I almost started crying.
Oh.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
It was fine.
I probably would have.
It was all right.
Like me?
I do like. Do you feel like when you're doing covers at a cover gig, you do like, you would do Neon Moon, right? Yeah. But like at your own, you do some weird a version of a Bruce Springsteen song. So in a way, those covers, like you're making them your own, as opposed to trying to like, hey guys, throw a little 10 in the tip jar over here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. You have another cool endeavor that you do. I think I wrote down episode 1359 was your last episode of a fantastic podcast. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's called How Did I Get Here? And it is a true podcast, and it has been around for...
It's a true podcast.
Because...
It's like dude in his pajamas at his house.
He films it at his house, and the people come to you, which I think is so cool.
Yeah.
And... You've put out so many.
I put out a lot of episodes.
Here I am thinking I've done so many shows, and then I look at Johnny. Yeah, but you've been doing it for so long.
I just did it. Yeah, I just started a lot sooner.
You did. It's been, I think last time we had a conversation, it had been since like 13 years ago that you started?
Yeah, it was 2011 when I started it.
Yeah. And do you still...
When you had to explain what it was, like you'd have to explain like a podcast, what do you mean? How do I hear it? And then, you're like, well, you can, I'm so glad those days are over.
Yeah. And now people want to be on, I'm sure. And it's like, do you still love it as much now?
Yeah, very much. Very much.
What do you get out of that?
I get connection to my community. Like throughout my whole career, I've always been a guy that stayed late. Very, very late at places, like they'd be cleaning up and I'd still be there talking to somebody. So it's normal. I love my tribe very, very much. And I feel like the more we know each other, the more we understand ourselves.
Yes.
And that's a true thing.
Yeah.
And I get a lot out of it. In fact, like just like a week and a half ago, Mojo Nixon passed away, this great musician.
Yeah.
And I have this amazing like hour and 25-minute conversation of him
Preserved.
like making me cry with laughter, but also like you get like these, like you realize like there's some sort of thing that you actually did. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You understand? Like there's something you look back and you're like, oh, I talked to that guy before that happened or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think
And good things too, not just passing away. But.
Yeah, but I think even through playing music, you guys probably get that on that level too. But just that level of connection, I learn about myself every time I have a conversation with someone. I learn about myself. Every time I go back and rewatch, because I have to take notes, I find myself smiling so big, and then I realize like, oh gosh, that's why my face hurts. And the simple joy in just listening and learning about someone does help me learn about myself. Yeah. And it's like kind of like throwing things against the wall, like, well, how do I feel about that? I never asked myself that question, or I love it, and I love that you continue to do it.
Thank you. I enjoy doing it. It's weird because there are times when I get worn out, but now in the year I take a month off from doing it. Like they always still come out, but I take the month of December off from talking to people. And I will say by the time it comes back around, I'm kind of like, I'm ready. Yeah.
It's so fun to talk to you guys. Like I think that, I just think that musicians and artists and people that give us as much as you guys give us are just the most interesting people to talk to. Because you're giving so much of who you are individually. Yeah. Does that ever get exhausting?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? How do you feel about this whole creative process? How do you fill your cup in the kind of ongoing cycle of, writing, recording, performing, and then releasing? Because you have new stuff coming out. Like literally, probably the week that everyone is watching this, you have new song coming out called New Mercedes, and then you have a full EP coming out shortly thereafter. How do you feel during that process, and at what point in that process do you kind of get yours kind of refilled to keep going?
The performing is where I thrive. That is where I feel the best. So that will refill my cup when I am able to perform my original music and play what I want to play. That is when I will always feel the best. It's the promotion and marketing and like self-promotion that really drains me the most. That's the part I don't like. I really don't like posting on social media. I know it's necessary, but I don't enjoy it. And so I don't really always love talking about myself. So that part is really exhausting to me.
So come on a show.
To be here, though.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, but that, that part of it I think is tiring, and gearing up to the release. It's all about that. It's planning, how am I going to talk about this? How am I going to market this? How am I even, what date? And then like, hi, can I please have a release show? And do you please want to talk to me about this? And you're just like putting yourself out there constantly, like again and again and again. Yeah. And that is the part that makes me feel like just so exhausted and terrible. But then if I get to play that music live, that's where I feel the most natural. So I keep going. Once I get that show, I'm like, oh yeah, that was fun. We should keep doing this and recording more bands. And
Does it ever feel, because by the time you guys have written something, recorded it, probably played it around, does it feel new still? At what point does it sort of lose its shininess for you? Because you've lived with it for maybe so much longer than we get to when we hear it. Does that newness kind of wear off, and then you feel like you have to be on to the next thing?
I feel that way. I feel like I have other songs that are not yet recorded that I like play out at shows, and then people are like, "Oh, is that on the new EP?" I'm like,
You're like, I'm past that. It's back there.
I get bored kind of easily.
Yeah. What about you, Johnny?
I like new stuff, but I don't. I think if I like the song, I don't really get tired. Of course, I'm not playing my own music all the time. Like I'm not on a tour right now. I could see getting sick of it that way.
Yeah.
So I guess I have enough distance from it to not really have I don't get sick of it very much.
Are we going to get to see you play some of your own stuff outside of Happy Land?
Yes.
When?
Well,
mean-
I've been doing random shows by myself, but I'm trying to do like a rock and roll band that's coming along really slowly.
Oh, you are? Oh, well, I love that.
I might have to do something a little bit to make it move a little fast. I was trying to do an all, like everybody, all from scratch music, but everybody writes it together in a room. But it is really difficult to get people all in a room together to do it. I don't want to do it over Zoom. I don't want to do it, and I want to do stuff like I did when I was a little kid, because that's what I liked so much about it. Like
Yeah.
So
If you need me to get a whip
Figure it
and
out.
start whipping people into action.
I think these people would love a whip. That's why I don't know how to. No, I'm just joking.
You heard it here first. Let me know their names.
I'm not watching this.
I can do it with both hands. Just kidding. You have as I mentioned, a full EP coming out on April 5th.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that. Do you have a title for it? Can you talk about it as much as you can talk about it?
Okay, well, surprise. This is the first time I'm going to be announcing this. Oh. So I'm very excited. So the EP is called Gold. It actually is, the title track is already released. So that's already on Spotify, and it's been out a couple of years, but I know traditionally you would put out the singles one after another and then quickly do the EP, and it just became such a longer process over time. And I was just like, I'm just going to be okay with that. I'm not going to care about how I'm supposed to do it. And that's kind of.
You can do that these days, though. There is no real like A plus B equals C formula. You can do really whatever you want.
Yeah, and that's
is nice.
That can feel simultaneously like option paralysis, and how should I do this, because it's endless options.
Option paralysis.
But it's also very freeing because it was recorded in 3 different states at like 6 different studios, from home studios to real big studios, and no one really was in the room together until actually no one was really in the room together at all. It's just kind of pieced together, and it still sounds awesome. And it took a long time, like 2 years, but it's ready now, and I'm very excited about it. So April 5th, the whole thing will be out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can I ask if Dizzy is on that?
Dizzy is on it, yeah.
Yes, she has this amazing song called Dizzy. I got to hear it live at Warm Studios. That feels like it was a year and a half ago or something like that.
Yeah, that was a long time.
And literally, I feel like I just didn't breathe that whole song. It's so beautiful. It's just, you have to hear her play that sometime.
I gotta hear it.
So good.
I was planning to play it tonight.
Oh,
well,
okay. Well, then we're in luck.
You're welcome, everybody. Okay, good. I love that song. What else should we talk about?
May I ask her a quick question?
Yeah, Johnny.
When you go and do all these songs, these songs are all done in different studios, there's different people.
Yeah.
How did you have one person mix it? How did you make it cohesive at the end? Because that's hard to do.
Yeah. So what happened was that I had 2 songs, Gold and Things I'll Never Say, that were the start of this writing journey. And we recorded those almost all in our home studio, with just the drums being tracked out in Denton. And my husband Andrew mixed those. When we expanded this process and I wrote all these different songs and had people from Nashville playing on it and Austin and all this, I kept the mix from those 2 and then had one guy mix the other, I think 4. And then I remastered the original 2. So even though 2 of the mixes are different, the master will all be the same.
Sure.
So yeah, I have gotten some feedback. People are like, how everything sounds like it's cohesive, but everything sounds different. And I took that to be like a slight against me at first. But then I was like, well, I don't like when things sound all the same. I don't want 6 of the
You
same
don't want
song.
it to be sanitized.
Yeah. So for me, I was like, actually, I'm gonna see that as a positive.
Yeah.
So, but it is hard. It was hard to match. I was really nervous about that, and I think it turned out. But, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Look forward to hearing it.
Yeah. And you have new music coming in a few months, probably.
I think we have 2 songs finished by Happy Land, but we just need to figure out when they're going to be released.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how can people follow you and support you? What is the best way, before we wrap this up and actually get to hear you play some music? What's the best way We can follow you at Katrina Cain Music on Instagram and katrinacain.com.
Yes.
What's your favorite ways to be supported, though, by people?
I would say I hate that I'm going to say this, but if you want to add my songs to your playlist on Spotify,
Yeah.
that truly is the most important. I really appreciate this move to physically buy music and buy artist merch. I appreciate that so much, but unfortunately I can't get booked if I don't have
That's right.
good streaming
Yeah,
gigs also. So
We
I
do
would
have to-
appreciate adding to playlists and helping me there.
Yeah, and the good news is that your music is so good that once they hear it, they will be adding away. So I love it. What about for you?
I think Instagram, the social medias, you can just follow me at Johnny Goudie. All the stuff that I do comes out through there,
Yeah.
I think. And I'm on Spotify.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to wait any longer. I want to hear you guys sing because I love you both so much. So we're going to take a short break and we will reset the stage and be right back with Johnny Goudie and Katrina Cain. Don't go away.
I want a new Mercedes, but I haven't been working too hard lately. I want a yacht, but I can't even pay for the apartment I got. I always say one day I'm gonna leave this town, run so far away and make it real big, Lord. Buy myself a nice house only the rich can afford, but I'm broken down. My heart is young, but my face looks older now. I still got hope one day, maybe I'll buy a new Mercedes. I want a man, but I can't find one who thinks as fast as I can. I want a job with benefits, but I can't find a boss that doesn't treat me like shit. I always say one day I'm gonna leave this town, run so far away and make it real big, Lord. Buy my parents something nice only the rich can afford, but I'm broken down. My heart is young, but my face looks older now. I still got hope one day, maybe I'll buy a new Mercedes. Maybe I went too far. I should've stayed home getting drunk in the same old bars. Maybe I'm naive, but thinking I could have more than I need. Well, even if I'm broken down, my heart is young and I think I'm wiser now. I still got hope one day, maybe I'll buy a new Mercedes. Oh, yeah, I'll buy a new Mercedes. Ooh, I'll buy a new Mercedes. Thank you. Something in the way that you hide from anything that's beautiful, anything you need to survive. You hoard it like a child, and it keeps you so remotely free, yeah. But do you believe the sun revolves around the earth, earth revolves around the moon, moon revolves around you, moon revolves around the earth, earth revolves around the sun, sun revolves around everyone. When I paint your picture on a stone,
Throw the stone into the sea, it's floating like a leaf. The weight of waiting for you is just like overcoming gravity. And I don't wanna go, but I don't believe the sun revolves around the earth. Earth revolves around the moon. Moon revolves around you. Moon revolves around the earth. Earth revolves around the sun. Sun revolves around everyone. And tomorrow you'll be far away. Another daydream fills the distance while I fade without having to leave, so you can be free to believe. The sun revolves around the earth. Earth revolves around the moon. Moon revolves around you. Moon revolves around the earth. Earth revolves around the sun. Sun revolves around everyone. Sun revolves around the earth. Earth revolves around the moon. Moon revolves around you. Moon revolves around the earth. Earth revolves around the sun. Sun revolves around everyone. Thank you.
That does it for tonight's show. Thank you so much for watching. Let's give a round of applause for Johnny Goudie and Katrina Cain. Love you. So amazing. We will see you next time.